Why do you want to homestead? It seems like a simple question to answer, but I think diving a little bit deeper into your reasons for homesteading will make your journey much more enjoyable and purposeful. I think right now it's really easy to get caught up in romanticism. Social media, movies, and TV shows can make us believe that the lifestyle we pursue will be like 90% romantic and 10% heartache. But the truth is, there will be more than 10% heartache, and for some people, it's much more than 10%. By choosing to have a strong reason for pursuing this lifestyle, not getting caught up in the romanticism and understanding difficult times don't necessarily mean bad times, we can get the most out of our homesteading experience. We can choose to grow and become people who make positive impacts in our communities. Today, I'm going to talk you through your homesteading why, to make sure your journey is laid on a solid foundation. Hey there, homestead dreamer. Whether you're just starting out or have already dipped your toes into the homesteading world, I've got something special for you. It's all about setting up a solid foundation for your homestead plan and income strategy through thoughtful action and implementation. Because let's face it, starting a homestead is not too difficult, but keeping it sustainable can be a real challenge. Now, the decisions you make in those early years can truly make or break your experience. You either end up feeling confident and content, or you find yourself caught up in a never-ending struggle, like on a hamster wheel. And we definitely want to avoid that. That's exactly why I've created an amazing resource for you, the Workshop for Beginner Homesteaders and Dreamers. With this tool, you'll have a rock-solid foundation to build your homesteading dream upon. In the pre-recorded workshop, you'll dive into some valuable topics such as strategies for planning, savings, and generating an income, how to find and become a part of a supportive homesteading community, and developing the right mindset for homesteading success. And here's the cherry on top. Throughout the month of June, I'm offering my workshop for beginner homesteaders and dreamers at a special discount price. It's an hour and 40-minute video where I personally guide you through most of the Homesteading for Beginners workbook, which is included in the workshop price, by the way. To grab this offer, head over to healthyhomesteading.com/workshop and use the code podcast at checkout. With this code, you'll get over 20% off the already low regular price. But remember, this discount is only available during the month of June, so make sure you take action soon. You can find all necessary links in the show notes of this podcast episode as well. I'm eager for you to get started. Let's make your homesteading dreams come true together. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. My name is Mona Weathers, and I am passionate about helping you pursue your homesteading dreams, but I also want to make sure that you're doing it in a way that is healthy and sustainable. And so I often ask questions that may seem simple, but they're really not. They're really more deep. And I feel like our why for homesteading is more of a deep question to answer. It may seem like it's, kind of a surface level question, but it really will be the thing that keeps you going when things are really difficult. I'm going to ask you 3 questions, and you can write them down, or if you're doing something else, just mentally make a note of the answer to these 3 questions. And these 3 questions will help you discover your why and help you realize if your why is strong enough to keep you going during hard times. So first, have in your mind what you think the reason you want to start with this homesteading journey, or why you're homesteading currently. Like, what is the reason you are homesteading? What is the reason you want to homestead? And have that in your mind. And for example, some people want to homestead because they want food that is freshly grown, and they want better food. They want a better life or experience for their kids. They want, more calm in their life or less busy. Those are some reasons that someone might have reasons for starting to homestead. So it can be more than one thing. Obviously, for a lot of people, it's multiple things. But just have some things in mind as I'm asking you these questions. Okay. This will also help you learn what your capacity is. So, this exercise, which I'm actually going to give you 3 scenarios with 3 questions. Okay, since I don't know where you're listening from and what type of weather you have to actually use your imagination here, possibly, unless you're from an area that is like what I'm describing. Okay, so basically think of the worst weather scenario you can. That may be, snow. You have 3 feet of snow, 4 feet of snow, and you have to get yourself outside to do the chores. And now, even if you don't have any animals currently, you can still imagine what this might feel like. Okay, you have to go out and feed the chickens and feed the goats and break their water because the water is super frozen. And it's up to you to go outside and do these things. And you don't have help, okay? In this scenario, it's just you. You don't have help. And I want you to imagine this scenario like it's you walk outside and the all of your face freezes, your hands are frozen. You have good clothes on, so you're not like going out in shorts or something. You have good clothes on, but it's cold outside, and you have to go outside to take care of the animals and or the garden. You might have something, this might be an unexpected storm, let's say, and you have to be the one that goes out and does the things. Now, I want you to feel this, like feel the cold, and say to yourself, is this worth it? And you may have already experienced this, so this may be just talking. If you've already experienced this is a scenario, and you have questioned deeply whether it is worth it in this moment, really think about this, the question I'm going to ask you. So the question is my why strong enough? Is my why strong enough to keep me going in the worst weather conditions? Do I feel like what I'm doing is worth it at all? And I know for some it's just an imagination, but for others this is the reality. You're really thinking, okay, is my why strong enough for this? Is, growing food for my family strong enough for this scenario? Or is having fresh food, would it be easier for me to just go buy groceries from a local farmer or something like that? If it's the health reason, like are there other ways this could work out where I'm getting what I want, but also getting the food that I want, So this is not to put doubt in your mind, but this is to really get you to think about why it is you're doing what you're doing, or why it is you want what you want. Because these are the scenarios, these are the times it's going to really come into your mind, because it's happened to me. It's definitely happened to me. In that scenario, I would have to go out, it would be snowing in California. Yes, it snowed in the mountains of California where we lived. And I had to milk the goats every single day. It didn't matter how much it was snowing. Didn't matter what was happening. I had to be responsible for the goats and the chickens. And I did have help some of the time. So my youngest, was helping, and my husband would help when he could. And the older kids would help if it was really necessary as well. But my whole point is there are going to be times when you have to do it by yourself. And you're going to be, whether you are married or not, you have kids or whatever, there's going to be times when you have to do it by yourself, and you have to know that you can push yourself through the experience with your why. If it's worth it, just know you are confident in that it is worth it. Okay? So let's go to the next scenario. You walk out to your garden. Let's go walk out to your garden. Okay? You have spent hours and hours getting this garden ready. You had an unexpected frost kill more than half of your plants. Okay? So more than half of your plants are dead, because you didn't realize the temperatures were going to go so low. And like I said before, this has probably happened to someone listening. It's happened to me. So you go out and all of that work that you grew you grew these plants from seeds, and you put all that time and energy and grow lights in your house or whatever it is that you did to get these seeds to where they are. And then in one night, everything dies. Or at least more than half of everything dies. And you are in shock because you didn't realize it was going to happen. Now, in that moment, is your why strong enough? Okay? Yes, I just asked the same question. So here's the thing. I'm going to ask that same question for the next scenario as well. But I want you to think really hard about whether your why will hold up through that type of scenario, that type of experience. Is it worth it? The money that you spent in there, is it worth it to have everything lost in one night? Because those things happen. This is actually homesteading, if we're talking homesteading past, like like an apartment type city homestead, mindset homesteading, and actually like farming type homesteading. These things happen all the time. They happen unexpectedly. They happen suddenly, they happen. Okay. So you have to know and make sure that your why for homesteading is strong enough. Okay, third scenario. Yes, I will be asking the same question, but third scenario is you have raised your chicks. You got chickens. You're so excited about getting chickens, okay? And your little chicks come in the mail or wherever you went to Tractor Supply. You're so excited to finally get chickens to have your own eggs. You get, let's say 10. You have 10 chicks. And you are, so hopeful for the future to get the eggs. You have them for a couple weeks. And then you do something that you shouldn't have because you didn't know you weren't supposed to. So I actually hear this a lot with people with chickens. There's a lot of things that people don't know about having chicks and that they shouldn't do. I'm not going to give you an exact scenario. I'm just going to say you do something you didn't know you shouldn't with your chicks, and they're a few weeks old now, and they all die. You wake up or you go out to see them and they're all dead. Now, this is devastating, obviously, because you've had them for a few weeks now and you're so hopeful for the future, and something that you did as a mistake caused them to die. Now, I bring this one up because this one was the hardest scenario for me, is having my own mistake be the reason an animal died or I lost, whatever, my plants die or whatever, but it was mostly the animals that was the hardest. My own mistakes causing my animals to die were the hardest. And it happened a few times. I mean, obviously I wasn't intentional. It would be a mistake leaving the chicken coop door open by accident. A raccoon gets in the door. That mistake caused my animals to die, So those are the type of things that have happened to me. Now, is your why strong enough? Is the reason you want to have chickens and do this homesteading thing strong enough to keep you going through that huge mistake you made? Because this may be the hardest one for you to get through because you have this guilt factor, Just think about it. These are the 3 questions, which is actually one question, but 3 different scenarios. I want you to think about this, and then I want you to write down your list of whys. And I want you to a good exercise would be put them on the wall or something. Like we had the dream exercise, doing your dreams, putting your dreams on the wall. Put your why on the wall too. Write it down on a piece of paper, put it on the wall. And as things come up, as hardships come up, if you're still hoping to have land one day and something happens to cause you to have to step back from your goals, just look at that list again and say, is this going to keep me through some of the hardest things that I'm going to go through actually on a farm. Because if it doesn't, you might need to reevaluate your list. You might need to rewrite your list. You might need to, think about maybe different options to get the things that you want without owning property and all the animals. That is my exercise for you today. And I hope that was helpful. I really like to think past just surface level. And I'm one of those questions. I'm one of those people that asks the question why a lot. I hope that helps you. And I would love to hear if it does help you. So you can message me on Instagram at farmer_Mona, or you can email me at mona@healthyhomesteading.com. Okay, that's it for today. I want to remind you about the workshop for Beginner Homesteaders and Dreamers promo that's going on in June. Yes, this episode is airing before June, so yes, you can use the promo today if you're listening to this and you want to get started. The promo will go from today to the end of June, so just visit healthyhomesteading.com/workshop, and don't forget to use the promo code podcast for your discount. Okay. Have a great day.